Hello everyone, it's Mr. Wasner, Traders Point Outdoor and Environmental Education Coordinator. I'd like to try out a different newsletter format to help engage parents in our activities. I would appreciate your feedback after watching this, as the school is always looking to improve and streamline communication to parents. So any comments, positive or negative, would be appreciated. Please send them to me via email at jwasner@tpcs.org, which is also listed in the Outdoor Ed newsletter. Now, on to what we've been doing in the classroom. You've heard about Dr. Long, and there's so much more to share. As the first participant in our new Visiting Scholar program, there's a lot of excitement around his arrival. Plus, he's a primatologist, so that's right up my alley. I'd never met Dr. Long or even spoken to him prior to his arrival, so beyond what I saw in YouTube videos or what Mr. Milan passed along, I wasn't sure what to expect. What we experienced, though, was far beyond my imagination. An incredible man who embodies a true representation of Christ-like joy. Don't miss the video montage of Dr. Long's activities in the newsletter, so you can see the highlights of him visiting 2 zoos and our classrooms. I'm also working on content related to Dr. Long's visit for future use, but for now, I just wanted to share a couple of things I learned about Dr. Long that really stood out. First, he had to stop school at 6th grade when his family was sent to be farmers after his father, a county judge, clamored for equality, a view opposing the government. During those 11 years, he taught himself math, chemistry, and physics to a level above every high school student in his province, qualifying him for university at the age of 21. There, he had to teach himself English, which all other students were already fluent. I am sure Dr. Long told this story to our 6th graders, and it continues to astonish me that someone has the self-discipline to develop academic knowledge away from a formal schooling environment or parental direction. He believes God created his beloved snubbies, and only God could have brought Mr. Milan to the forest that day. His approach to conservation is to impact people's hearts. An intimate observation will change attitudes towards the monkeys. We share the belief that children are the key to saving nature, especially in China, where adults only show an interest in animals after children develop it first. Our outdoor education is set up for this very purpose, to foster a love for all things nature at a young age, create hands-on learning opportunities, and to teach a biblical stewardship of the earth God has granted us, while embracing how science complements, not contradicts, a Christian worldview. As part of our trip to Chicago with Dr. Long, I did a video lesson from Lincoln Park Zoo with Academy students. They got to observe Japanese macaques, who are perfectly adapted to the cold, windy lakefront zoo location. These monkeys, along with several other primate species, were grooming each other, a crucial social bonding behavior akin to a hug or a handshake in human culture. Lions were resting on a heated rock close to the visitor pathway, and kids learned about dimorphism, a big fancy science word for when a male and a female have clear physical differences beyond just size. For lions, the male has a big mane, of course, which the female lacks. But this scientific phenomenon was also seen in howler monkeys and gibbons, whose gender is differentiated by fur color. Finally, students got to see chimpanzees working on a computer game, which helps researchers determine their cognitive ability. Looking ahead, we're finishing out the calendar year with some really fun projects. In 1st grade, in conjunction with their weather unit, we'll be building anemometers, which calculate wind speed. If you have a shoebox at home that can be used, that's one supply that we'll need. You can send those in any time. In the spring, however, 1st grade will go on a field trip to the Benton County Wind Farm to see how these much larger wind energy devices work. If you've ever driven on I-65 from Indianapolis to Chicago, you can't miss them. They do field trips from spring to fall, so we'll be able to visit once the weather warms up. Prior to Thanksgiving, I taught a lesson about golden eagles to kindergarten. They learned how God created birds intentionally and with distinctive features which help them thrive in a particular environment. Put simply, if you look at a bird's beak, you can tell exactly what it eats, and looking at its feet is a clear indication of a bird's home. Golden eagles have huge talents to grasp prey and cling to branches, while a sharp, pointed beak is needed as a carnivore. With that background knowledge, we'll replicate a true natural engineering feat, a golden eagle nest. Students will forage for large sticks to use as a base, then find smaller sticks and softer materials to line the inside. Golden eagle nests can reach 20 feet in diameter, and we don't exactly have the space for that big of a replica in our eagle's nest in the building, but there is a special surprise awaiting students as to what the nest will be used for. I can't wait for them to see it and to share it with you too. Springtime in 3rd grade will include water quality studies of the stream and ponds on our property. So during the winter, we'll be doing 2 projects to build a greater understanding of what water quality means and what it looks like. The first is aquaponics, which will be done at the high school and with 6th grade as well. Aquaponics is a method of growing plants indoors using one of several types of closed systems. In the most simple form, water from a fish tank is pumped to a second container with plants. Fish fertilize the water, which helps plants grow, then is filtered back into the fish tank. It's an environmentally friendly way to grow plants indoors, using significantly less water to grow food or other plants than on a traditional farm. We'll experiment on which systems create the fastest growing plants, monitor pH levels of water to ensure water quality stays high, learn about the water cycle, and much, much more. Plenty more to come on that for now, but for now, if you have a large container at home, a fish tank that you no longer need, any donations would be helpful. Finally, in the spirit of the Christmas season, each grade is going to help make a nature tree. A nature tree includes all natural materials like popcorn, dried oranges, so on and so forth. And upon completion, we can set it outside for animals to enjoy. Be on the lookout for how you can help us with this holiday project. Thanks for tuning in today, and looking forward to seeing you around school, and maybe even in the dismissal line. If you aren't already, you can see what we're doing in the classroom regularly. Follow our work at TPCA Outdoor Ed on Instagram. Have a blessed holiday season.